I sat and thought about something the other day, or 2 days ago. So Joel Embiid had an all time game. He went for 70 points, 18 rebounds. And I heard a lot of people talking about we're going back to the Bigs era. We're going back to an era where the Bigs dominated. And then I thought about it. Like I really thought hard. And shouts out to Colin Cowherd because he kind of emphasized this as well. But I thought about this hard. You hear about small ball era. You hear about the league, the NFL or NBA, I'm sorry, being in a small ball era where the best shot to win has been with a small lineup. And I had to sit and think about that for a second, man. I'm questioning, was there ever a small ball era? Hear me out. In fact, let's go on this journey together, guys. Let's look at the last, let's say 10 NBA champions. The last 10. You have the Denver Nuggets, and the MVP of that championship was Nikola Jokic, a big. You had the Golden State Warriors. The MVP was Steph Curry. You had the Milwaukee Bucks, the MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. You had the LA Lakers, MVP LeBron James, and now I mean Finals MVP. You had the Toronto Raptors, MVP Kawhi Leonard. The Golden State Warriors twice, both times MVP Kevin Durant. You had LeBron James in the Cleveland Cavaliers 2016, LeBron James. You had the Golden State Warriors in 2015, Andre Iguodala. You had the San Antonio Spurs in 2014, Kawhi Leonard. And you have the Miami Heat, both 2012 and 2013, LeBron James. You can even go back to 2011 when the Dallas Mavericks beat the Miami Heat in Dirk Nowitzki. The era of small ball was thought to have started pretty much with the 2015 Golden State Warriors, the quote-unquote death lineup. The death lineup that had Draymond Green play the center, Andre Iguodala, Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Harrison Barnes. That was the quote-unquote death lineup and the start of the quote-unquote small ball lineup. But if we're looking, even after 2015, LeBron James, 6'8" small forward, arguably the greatest player of all time. Kevin Durant, 7 foot guard / forward, arguably the greatest scorer of all time. Kawhi Leonard, arguably the greatest forward defender of all time. Still, what, 6'7", 6'8"? Giannis Antetokounmpo, 7 foot freight train. And Nikola Jokic. In fact, let me enhance this argument. If Joel Embiid wins the MVP this year, which right now he is the favorite to win. If Joel Embiid wins the MVP this year, this will be the third consecutive MVP that has gone back to back. It will be Giannis, 7 feet, Nikola Jokic, 7 feet, and Joel Embiid, 7 feet. And on top of that, when you look at all these teams, name me the other team outside of Golden State and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson and Draymond Green. Name me the other team that has found success playing small ball. I'll wait. Because when you look at this, when you look at the last 10 or 11 NBA champions, they didn't play small ball. In fact, I only know one team that played small ball successfully, and that is the Golden State Warriors, because they have an all-time point guard in Steph Curry, and they have an all-time defender in Draymond Green, which made me really sit and think. I know it sounds good, and I know it's a success. I know it was successful for them, but I don't think there was ever a small ball era. Because with an era with there having to be an era, there has to be success in multiple areas for it to be an era. When we talk about the 80s, 90s, and the physicality of basketball, that's because it was physical. We saw Jordan damn near die in the getting clotheslined in the air. We've seen that. So we can see evidence of the physicality in today's basketball is much different than it was in the 80s and 90s. There is quantitative evidence that shows that. There isn't much evidence outside of the Golden State Warriors to prove that small ball has worked in the NFL or NBA. And honestly, there isn't much evidence to prove that small ball was successful in the NBA outside of Golden State. Because look at the teams now. Look at the teams that we consider the best right now. What do they have in common? The Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum is tall. Jaylen Brown is tall. They have a tall center in Kristaps Porzingis. They have a tall guard in Jrue Holiday. You want to go to the Milwaukee Bucks. While, yes, Damian Lillard is short, you have Giannis. You have Brook Lopez. Height, tall, big. You want to talk about the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray. Outside of that, you have Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, taller. Aaron Gordon, taller. Nikola Jokic, 2-time MVP and Finals MVP. You can go to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Karl Anthony Towns, tall. Rudy Gobert, tall. Anthony Edwards, taller. The Oklahoma City Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, tall. The Jalen Williams, tall. Chet Holmgren, tall. What it is, you know what this era should be? I don't think there was ever a small ball era. This is the era of the skill. This is the era of skill. The league has never been this skilled. In fact, if you go back to that list of people that have won Finals MVPs, there is one outlier in the last 10 years. You know who that outlier is? Steph Curry in 2022. Because all the other MVPs were were forwards and centers. So you can't attach a era when it's only been successful with one team. But I do think that this is the era of skill. It takes skill. I know people want to crap on Shaq, but he was skilled because he knew what he had and the advantages that he had with his body, with his size, with his strength, and he was able to use that. He was also fast as hell. Joel Embiid is arguably one of the most skilled players in the league right now. I know he may not be as skilled as, say, a Nikola Jokic because of the passing, but things that Joel Embiid does scoring the ball, no one can do because of his size, because of his strength. This is why there's such an argument with, is Joel Embiid the quote-unquote new Shaq? I don't think there will ever be a Shaquille O'Neal. Let's get that out the way. But I do think that Joel Embiid is putting on, he's sending a message that he is indeed the most dominant player in the league right now. I know the question always is in the air. Is it Giannis? Is it Nikola Jokic? I think Joel Embiid is trying to silence that, seeing as though if this league finished today, he will be the first center, I think, in NBA history to lead the league in scoring for 3 consecutive years. And as you sit today, there's no way to stop Joel Embiid. Joel Embiid's biggest criticisms came from his own fault, meaning he takes too much threes. He takes too much jump shots. Well, now he don't do that. He gets to the rim and he dominates. I don't think we've ever gotten out of a bigs era. I think that bigs have always been important outside of one team, which is the Golden State Warriors. But again, we're talking about a team that is undoubtedly one of the greatest teams, scoring one of the greatest teams of all time. When we talk about just the offensive firepower and the defense, you had a team with, in my opinion, the 2 greatest shooters of all time in Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. Then you had arguably a top 5 shooter of all time in Kevin Durant. Then you had a generational defender in both Draymond Green and Andre Iguodala. And you had that architect to put it all together in Steve Kerr. That don't make an era. That just makes you a superior team in NBA history. We have always had an era of bigs. We've never left the big era. Yes, things have changed. Like there's been a shooting boom. Like there's been an offensive boom. There's been now when you look at someone like Joel Embiid, when you look at someone like a Nikola Jokic, when you look at someone like Dirk Nowitzki, it's very important to shoot the ball. And it's very important to have a big that can shoot. But it's always been a bigs era. We've never gotten out. Bigs have always been important. They just haven't been as skilled as they are in today's game. And that's all around the board. Not just bigs as far as centers and forwards. We have big guards. Luka Doncic is a big guard. Shai Gilgeous is a big guard. DeJounte Murray is a big guard. And those are extremely vital to have. Even though he's struggling right now, Klay Thompson is still 6'7". To put that in context, that's 1 inch shorter than LeBron, well, 2 inches shorter than LeBron James. So, I said all that to say congratulations to Joel Embiid for becoming the first center since Wilt Chamberlain to drop 70 points in a game and 18 rebounds. Right now, he's leaving little doubt to who currently is the best center in the league. It's very hard to pick anyone other than the reigning MVP in Joel Embiid. So shouts out to him. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.